Last video of 2016. You're welcome.
Initiate Vigilante mode.
Alright, we're here. End of 2016. It's crazy. This year has been insane. I was reflecting a little earlier, and personally, I had a good 2016. But I think collectively as a culture, I think we can all agree that this year has been just all over the place. We've lost so many amazing, iconic figures in pop culture and in the world. There's crisis all over the planet, and we're about to, find out what Palpatine is really like in real life. With all of that said, I think personally this has been a good year for movies, even though I think a lot of the kind of like more blockbustery ones were a bit disappointing, like the Batman vs. Supermans and the Suicide Squads. I think this year was not devoid of some really outstanding films. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you my list of my top 10 favorite movies. There are going to be a few honorable mentions, and it's sort of a combination of my favorite and the best, so it's really subjective. Before I do that, I just want to quickly say Carrie Fisher was truly like one of my idols. She was like a huge part of my life in whatever odd, weird way, just being kind of a really awesome symbol for powerful women and just like a heroic figure in cinema. I think a lot of that did translate into her personal life, given that she did battle a lot of inner demons, mental illness, and I think a lot of us can relate to those things. Hopefully you are one with the Force. So with that said, let's talk about some of the positive things. In 2016, I'm going to give you some of my honorable mentions first in no particular order. And of course, it's only the movies that I've seen. This was a really hard list to make. It started with the top 44. I whittled that down to the top 28, then to the 22, then to the 17, to the 10s. The honorable mentions, again in no particular order, consist of Don't Breathe, Lights Out, The Witch. This was a really good year for horror movies. I feel like the thinking person's horror movie kind of returned. Also, The Nice Guys, a great movie that certainly didn't get nearly enough attention. And Green Room, Anton Yelchin, if he had survived, this guy I think would have gone on to be a great actor. I really liked Nocturnal Animals. I thought this movie was really, really layered and complex and dark, and I love those kind of movies. Just didn't quite crack my top 10, but I do think that there were some outstanding performances in it, especially from Aaron Taylor-Johnson. I also have The Birth of a Nation. It's just really unfortunate that a movie that I thought was pretty good, just got completely blacklisted for all the reasons that we are aware of. I will give you my top 10 films of the year. This is in order, and we're going to start with number 10, Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. This movie, to me, really hit a lot of the sweet spots of what I wanted it to be. Really well directed visually. I thought it had a great sense of grit, really true to the significance of war and what it's like. Felicity Jones, I think, did a great job leading the film. And aside from a few spots of like a lack of character development, I thought this movie was outstanding. Number 9, Deadpool. What a fun time at the movies. Just that kind of irreverent humor that you see and read in the comics of Deadpool. Shame to see Tim Miller go, but I think Simon Kinberg, Rhett Reese, Paul Warnick, the whole team did a really good job bringing that character to life and giving us a different kind of superhero movie that I think a lot of us have been craving. Number 8. Captain America Civil War. A lot of people are feeling superhero fatigue. I think DC, no offense, I think you're kind of adding to that fatigue. This movie, Captain America Civil War, is part of the reason why comic book movies are still kicking and screaming, even though people want them to go. It had such amazing layers to it. Incredible ensemble work from a really diverse cast. Great additions with Black Panther and Spider-Man. Great action, an emotional experience. This was a great movie and definitely the best movie of the summer. Number 7, Fences. So Fences to me is just like kind of one of those timeless American tales. I think Denzel Washington did a great job bringing this play to life. I think it's a really great film, well directed, extremely well acted. I'm really rooting for Viola Davis this year. I hope this is her year for Best Actress because she was just phenomenal in this movie. Number 6, Silence. I didn't get a chance to review this because it just kind of got away from me. This is a great film. It's kind of mesmerizing. It's heavy. It's dark, but it's like so earnest, and I love how this movie didn't make you choose a side between Christianity or Buddhism, which is sort of what the conflict is all about. Andrew Garfield, that dude is like on his way, just a movie star, but he's also a great actor. And I think he's kind of on his way for kind of like DiCaprio caliber stuff in his future. He did a really great job in the film, as did the rest of the cast. A really thought-provoking movie. Definitely stayed with me days after. Shows that Scorsese, you know, can operate outside of his wheelhouse of just the gangster film genre. Number 5. Arrival. I think when I reviewed it, maybe, I mean, no, it's not like I got any comments about it or anything, but I just remember hearing a lot of reviews about the movie being like, you know, perfect. And no, I don't think this movie was perfect, but I do think that not only was it really thought-provoking, really does touch upon like the kind of human experience amidst kind of like this alien sort of thing going on. It had so much depth to it, and aside from the ending, which I just felt was a little bit like, I wasn't quite sure how I felt about it. Maybe I need to see it again. I thought this movie was really beautifully directed and acted. Denis Villeneuve, he's like the next great director. I mean, like I've said before, Sicario was my favorite movie of last year. Looking forward to this new Blade Runner movie. So Arrival is fantastic. Number 4. Hacksaw Ridge. I can understand a lot of people kind of not supporting this movie. Similar to like The Birth of a Nation, it's made by somebody who has made some mistakes in their personal life. Regardless of that, I thought this was a great film. It was a great war movie. It was a great action film. It was a great ensemble. It really brought some amazing things out of actors that I never really knew could get there, like Sam Worthington and Luke Bracey. Vince Vaughn was great, and of course, again, Andrew Garfield is having an amazing year. He was great in this film, as was Teresa Palmer. I really, really loved it. I thought it was really great, well directed. So, number 3. Manchester by the Sea. I just saw this movie the other day on a screener. I'm getting like screeners this time of year for like the SAG Awards and stuff like that. It's really nice to get those. It's like a play. You know, it's written by and directed by Kenneth Lonergan, a great playwright. The dialogue was so good. It's so beautifully acted. I don't know, painful but also funny and just true to life. In spite of the fact that Casey Affleck is also embroiled in some controversy right now, you know, I still think that he gave a great performance in the film. I thought Manchester by the Sea was a really, really wonderful film, and I think everybody should see that this year. Number 2. Hell or High Water. Also just saw this the other day. I actually bought the Blu-ray for this because I heard such great things about it. This movie is awesome. I love this movie. It's a modern Western. It kind of reminded me of like No Country for Old Men and a little bit of Before the Devil Knows You're Dead. Chris Pine, who knew? This guy is definitely not a one-trick pony. He was so good in this movie, as was Ben Foster. Of course, Jeff Bridges, you're going to get a great performance from him with whatever he does. I love the dialogue in this movie. It was so beautifully shot. And it really does speak to kind of like the state of America. My favorite film of the year, number 1, Moonlight. Moonlight, it took so many chances and so many risks. This movie is so painfully real and devastatingly honest about people and about stereotypes, particularly for black men. If you haven't seen the film already, I really don't want to give anything away, but it really does explore homosexuality on a level that just brought so many new things to my attention. A black man who grows up in this really, really hard, you know, and tough kind of urban setting. Marcella Hall, I think is his name. He was really, really good in this movie. I really hope he gets a supporting actor nod. And Barry Jenkins as a director, he's got a great career ahead of him. So I'm really excited to see what happens with that. My top 10 favorite movies and best movies of the year. It's been a crazy year, guys. You know, I finally got my show off the ground. I made a short film. I graduated from my master's program. I started working as a teacher. Me personally, I feel like I've really grown a lot this year. And I think what's important is instead of just looking at all the negative stuff that happened, look at some of the positive things you've done this year and take that with you into 2017 and just keep stacking it up. Nothing is impossible. You gotta set goals and you just gotta find a way. No matter what anybody says, how many views you're getting, how many likes you got on your Instagram photo, that doesn't matter. What matters is what you think about yourself and where you are in your life and whether you are doing something positive with the time that you have here and contributing. Thank you for everything that you guys have given me this year, including subscribership, checking out my short film that I bled into. I am applying for film festivals right now. I've applied to 3 so far. Really excited about what happens with that. We'll see. Check out my Patreon. Check me out on social media. I will see you guys in 2017. No matter what, guys, no matter how dark things get, don't give up.
2017, Vigilante mode deactivated.